Steve Evans, 2-1 victory. How's the ticker?
Yeah, listen, it's a pressured environment, isn't it, at this stage of the season? I think it doesn't matter whether you're fighting at the top end for the prize that we are, or Wimbledon's still in a fight at the bottom end. It's and they're a good side. They very seldom lose by more than one goal. In fact, if you look at the stats that we've looked at all week, then they've conceded late to lose games because they've been dominant in stages. But we got a great start. We worked on that set play for a couple of days. Credit to Paul Rayner and Al Ravel and the boys, the header and the movement. And it's the first time in our box. It's just a silly goal to give away. I think the referee gets it wrong when he gives them a decision here near the bench, but that can happen. We should affect it thereafter. And I think then, apart they hit the post, didn't they, with a header just 5 minutes from half time. But I think we've got ourselves in a dogfight rather than playing. Listen, there's no doubt we changed it tactically and won the game. We became dominant for spells without really having that little bit of quality. The pitch was difficult today. It's the first time this season it's been difficult. But there's been a lot of water in the area, like most pitches I've had. But we found a way to win. And I think there's no secret at this club. If we had MD on the end of that, of the current players that we've got available to us, the mistake with the boy, then you'd pick Jimmy Reid and he scores with a plume. But I think we've probably could have gone out and scored again and finished it. But like us, we don't do that, so we keep everyone. But my special mention goes to the supporters today. I think midway through second half, the game's in a little bit of a lull for me. The boys are trying to find a way. Everyone's trying, giving everything maximum. And we're trying to find a way. And this ground was probably the loudest I've heard it, despite the attendance today versus others. It just rose from all sides of the ground apart from the away end, and there was a real atmosphere. And I just said to the players, if we needed the people of Stevenage and the supporters of Stevenage Football Club, we needed them on 65 minutes today, and they turned up, and we got them a win.
Just before that goal, the second goal, we were just saying in commentary, it's really hard to see where the goal's coming from.
Yeah, listen, we just had to find a way. I think they're very resolute. You can see the experience they brought into the back four today. The boy Gunter and people like that. They've not been Brownie. They've not been the other team, but they suddenly go and play us, and in comes all the big players. And you think, well, okay, what's this about? But we half expected it because when you're playing against us, people suddenly think you need internationals in your team and forget about the younger ones that played. But we can't affect what Johnny does at Wimbledon or any other manager in this league or team in this league. We just got to look after ourselves. And we spoke after the weekend, spoke in the press this week about finding a way to win a game despite the 3 draws, because we know we should beat Colchester, who have beat Crewe and then won again today since. We know that we should win at Northampton, and they go and get a good win after we play them. And then we know we should win last week at Hartlepool, and we don't. And so they mount up. So today was a bit, the boys found a way. But if it had been any other result, I think people would have got out the ground saying perhaps Stevenage are unlucky again, but we've been fed up with that a number of times this season.
Had to really stand up at the end there as well, didn't they? Because, as expected, Wimbledon went for them.
Yeah, listen, I think if you're them, you have to gamble, didn't you? 2-1 away from home. I think if you're Johnny's probably looked behind him, and then when it's above 6'3", he comes onto the pitch because they're going to launch it in there. But I've got to look at people like Danny Rose and people like Carl Piergianni and Dan Sweeney, who stood up tall today with big headers in that last 10 minutes and clearing our box and getting us up the pitch. And perhaps if we had a little bit more quality on the counter, we'd have gone and win the game more comfortably. But we had to stand up. They're a difficult side to play against. You look at, I think Salford's, for what they've got, they should be winning the league, but they're a very good team with good players. And they scored 95 and 97 to win at Wimbledon the other day. So it just shows you that they're a decent side. And I think Johnny would be the first to say they're underachieving for where they are. But again, that's no my concern. My concern is quite simply Doncaster Rovers on Tuesday.
You look around and the scorelines elsewhere have probably been pretty favourable for you today. But today's result is only going to be as good as what happens on Tuesday night. Yeah, listen, our focus is only Tuesday. Our focus is not league tables. I've heard all the bunkum all week, innit? They're all talking about history and doing things, and it's just bunkum. The league table finishes after 46 games, and I'll be telling you, if we don't make it, that there's refereeing errors and there's poor finishing, there's bad defending, and so does every other manager, because that's what we live. We live and breathe and head and kick every ball and try and make every decision in our favour. So I don't really care what any other manager does in this league. I care what Danny Schofield does on Tuesday, because I respect the players he's got at Doncaster, and I certainly respect Danny. So from that point of view, that's our only focus. We'll bring the boys back in, we'll freshen them up, we'll maybe freshen the team up.
But I'll tell you what, today we showed our fitness levels, didn't we? There was one team still running highly effectively on a counter-attacks, going 80 yards up the pitch. Jordan Roberts' fitness levels incredible. Jamie Reid, Danny Rose, Alex. I could go through them all, you know. And we protected 2 players we had to protect. You know, Jake Reeves is not trained more than 1.5 times really. One session, problem session yesterday, for the first time in 2 weeks. So we had a game plan for him to come off at a certain stage. So you have to commend that he's done his job. And the same with young Kane. He was out injured and come back onto the bench, but we started him today and he done a good job as well. So it's testament that we can bring the likes of Luther onto the team and Bozzy, who gave us a real calmness apart from probably one silly little challenge at the corner flag.
And ultimately, you're still in there scrapping. That's what it's all about.
Now listen, we've got 6 games left, is it? We've got 6?
5.
There you go. I'm even kind of get my maths right, so I'm never good at arithmetic at school either. So we got 5 left. Listen, we've got 1 as far as I'm concerned. We got Doncaster Rovers on Tuesday. You look around League 2, how hard is it to get results today? You know, you go the revitalised and big spending Gillingham. You know, I think Stockport scored late there to equalise, but it's really tough to go there now with what Neil's done, with the money it's getting splashed. You know, it's like, you know, the Bruce Forsyth show, God bless Bruce. You know, it's like, you know, name your price. And so it's very, very difficult. Then you look at Salford, Colchester, go there and win. It's real tough. I think Northampton, Carlisle, everyone probably around the league thought that could be shared spoils because it's 2 real good teams going head to head. And we've got another one coming here to the Lamex on Tuesday.
Just quickly, a yellow card for yourself, 5 minutes into the 4 that were added on.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? His Timex doesn't work, and my Rolex doesn't work, and his Timex does. But there we go. He could have just simply said to me, Steve, I'm going to blow up. He books me and it throws it down the line and he blows up. So I'm like, anyway, I thought the referee was he was okay for both today, and that's a compliment because we've had absolute nonsense in the last few weeks.
Well done today.
Thank you.